One question I've been meaning to ask. How is your training different now as you're getting on in the years? Differed to when you were training?
My training, younger? The exercises are all. The only thing that's probably changed now is the weights. Until I had this injury or the neck injury from the car accident, exactly the same. I'd still go as heavy as I could because I get good heavy days, but it hasn't changed. But now with injuries, I just got to work around things. But overall, still exactly the same as when I started, really.
So just using the last exercise, seated versus standing, where you can use less weight doing stuff seated. So would that be something that you'd maybe recommend for older people, just so that they focus more on form?
Even seated, it's good to focus on your form. And also seated too is you can't cheat as much, and then you can't go as heavy. So if you do have a bad back problem, it's probably easier to do it seated as well, rather than just bending over. But both of them you bend over, but whatever. I just find whatever feels comfortable for you. Now, don't be like one of those people where they go, well, he does them seated, I have to do them seated, when you could feel it better. You could feel it better just standing up. So I said everyone's going to be different on, because their limbs are longer or shorter, and sometimes when I was bulked up doing seated like this, it was a bit hard because my stomach was like, so just find what works for you. So I say do them both if you can. One day do them standing, next time do them seated. Next time maybe use one of those rear delt machines. So there's a good variety out there, but the main key is your rear delt's only a small muscle. Don't go, I see people 80 pounds. It's like, come on, you're just pulling with your arms. You're not really focusing on your rear delt. So leave your ego at the door if you're training rear delts.
And injuries aside, do you notice a massive difference with your recovery now that you're older? So
about the same, really. I sometimes go sort of hard on legs still, but not as heavy. But I'll do like, a good amount of weight, higher reps, but really focus on the quads. And they still might be sore for 2 or 3 days at the most after, but still recover pretty quick. Like, as long as I'm getting the sleep and the rest and the food in, I can still train now and not eat a lot of food and not sleep well and feel shit. So as long as you're training, eating and sleeping, you should be fine no matter what the age. Now, maybe burning body fat gets harder as you get older. Metabolism might slow down, but I still do lots of cardio, so it's good for burning fat and keeping healthy.
So how much cardio are you doing at the moment?
2 hours minimum.
Minimum?
Yeah. Generally an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, and then I'll walk the dogs as well, so anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a day.
And what cardio are you doing at the moment?
Treadmill, sometimes bike, sometimes I hop on the stair thing, but generally just treadmill and then walking the dogs. Sometimes I walk to McDonald's and walk home. See?
And is that because of the diet?
No, because I walk to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't feel... If I drive to McDonald's, eat and drive home, I feel like a fat pig. If I walk to McDonald's, which is like 20 minutes, eat McDonald's and walk home, you don't feel as bad because you actually did 40 minutes walking.
And we've seen that you've been posting about that chicken place.
Oh, yes. Rudy's Rotisserie at Glendale. It's really good.
Give people an idea of what you eat in a sitting.
Well, that time I went there, he gave me chicken tenders, garlic and herb. Oh, they were very good too. Just enough salt. And I'm not a chip person or fry person, but the chips are like, when you get them and they're really crunchy golden brown with that seasoning and salt on it. Just right. Then I had southern fried chicken. Ooh. I like fried chicken a lot. This was really good. Like, Kentucky has a taste, what used to have a taste, it doesn't anymore. This had a really good, you got to eat it to understand. The rotisserie chicken, the best, like tender as anything. The chicken burger, oh, that was good too. It's one of those nice, those nice shiny buns that are fresh and soft and taste good. And what else did we have? Oh, a nice pork roll with pork crackling and gravy. That was good. And then he gave us this other big thing with the chips and bacon. It's almost like a nachos, but like a chicken nachos with chips. Had that. The only thing I haven't had are chicken like wings, like the honey soy wings and that. So I've got to go back. And then he had something else there the other day that was new that looked good. So I've got to go back and check him out. He also has the couple of cafes called XS at Katara. There's one at Jesmond. I didn't know he owned both of them, these cafes as well as the chicken places. And these cafes called XS, X and the letter S, Jesmond. There's one at Katara in the Homemaker Centre. Now if you want a good breakfast, like a big breakfast, bacon, eggs and that, but they also do those great shakes with all the donuts on top and all the chocolate. And they also do, I was there 2 weeks ago, I had the pancakes with the chocolate all over the top and the white chocolate. And you gotta get halfway through, you're like, oh, I'm getting pretty sweet here. It's like I'd have the ice cream to, so highly recommend both places.
I guess the reason why I said that, how often would you eat such food?
Every week. I have McDonald's nearly every day. But plus I got Papa Macros, they're the meal prep place.
Yep.
They're really good because they got like great menu, like probably the best prep food I've had. They've got such a variety menu. But I'll eat them, like I'll eat the, say it's chicken, lean chicken teriyaki, it's got the chicken, green beans and rice, I'll eat that. But then an hour and a half later I might have a little bit of McDonald's. When I say McDonald's, I'm not going pigging out. It might just be one burger, a fillet of fish and a small chocolate sundae. And then an hour and a half later I'll have another proper Macros meal, see? So that's what I've always done my whole life. I'll eat good meals but then eat bad meals in between, and then when it's time to lose weight you just cut out the shit stuff in between.
So what's your weight at now?
I'm sitting around 96, 97 kilos. That's like a comfortable weight. And I'm not really force feeding myself. Sometimes I only have 2 meals a day, so I could probably go heavier, but I can't be bothered.
And are you going to drop any weight soon, or just?
No, not that I plan on, so I just hang around here. I find sometimes I prefer to sometimes even go lighter, because when I had this I wasn't eating much when I first tore it, so for 2 weeks I was down near 91, which was good because I'm like, yeah, I'm 91. So for a whole week I ate shit food and only went to 95 kilos. So sometimes I deliberately drop down just so I can eat crap for a couple of days and go back up. Because there's a new bakery near where my wife works, and I go to the Chinese place to get my chicken teriyaki bowl, but on the way out I get a custard tart, a Neenish tart and a sausage roll, sort of. But at least I had the chicken teriyaki bowl first, because that way the good food digests and it takes the bad food with it. It just passes out. So you can't beat a fresh sausage roll with tomato sauce, can you?
There'd be some guys chowing down on the
chicken and rice.
Chicken and
I know, poor bastards. But every time I put up those Rudy's rotisserie, you read the comments, they're like, oh, thanks Lee, I'm dieting.
Yeah.
So